everybody. It's Dr. Carmen Bryant. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Thank you guys for being patient with me as I try to catch up on my work. I would show you my desk. It's looking much better than it was before, but I have a lot of paperwork that I have to do. So thank you for being patient with you guys. Thank you for being kind, and thank you for giving me a break. So thank you guys to all the new subscribers that have joined here on this YouTube channel. And thank you for reaching out and letting me know that this is benefiting you. Today, I wanted to talk about, let's think of the title. Let's talk about the parents of the narcissist that are the enablers, that are enabling the behavior of the narcissist. Now, let's take it. Some of you guys are in relationships. Some of you guys have come out of. Some of you guys got children by. And some of you guys are actually parenting or have adult kids that have narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder. Some of you guys have little kids and you're trying to avoid recreating what you've gotten out of with the narcissist. So keep in mind that all of us have different experiences when it comes to parenting. Some people guilt parent. Some of you guys are coming out of these situations with, a parent of your child that may have been a narcissist or maybe a narcissist or has narcissism. And so a lot of you are guilt parenting. So you're over parenting and you're really starting to cultivate. So you're over parenting the child. Sometimes you're over parenting and not holding the child accountable. You're afraid to hold the child accountable. You don't want the child to be angry with you. They have temper tantrum. It's cute now. Little Johnny slap you in the face. It's real cute. Little Johnny walks around like he's a grown man and talks to you like he's a grown man. That's real cute now. That little May, you got a little smart mouth and everything. But what happens as they get older and you get to a point where you begin to fear your own kids? Parents, you should not be fearing your own kids. I don't have a problem putting mine in jail, but you're not going to raise your hand at me. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. And some of you guys are afraid of your kids. And some of you have cultivated your kids that way. And so think about it. If I'm talking to you about that, imagine what happened with the narcissists and their parents. Now, for some, some people were raised in an abusive home. Some people were raised by a narcissist or narcissists in the home. Some of you were in foster care. Some of you never have been loved, so you didn't know how to parent. So you didn't know how to parent. You didn't know what to do. And so, when we get older, we look back and we see all the mistakes that we have made. Well, when you're dealing with a child, it could be an adult child. We're talking about these adult narcissists. They hold it all against you. They don't hold you. They're not held accountable for their behaviors or their actions. And a lot of times, especially those of you that have like overt narcissists that don't have a problem putting their hands on people, choking people, hitting people, assaulting the people that they're dating, have a problem with it. The parent knows that it's not right, but at the same time, they're still trying to spare their child. They still make excuses. Well, Johnny had, a bad upbringing. His father was abusive. But, little May, she had a hard time. And, her mom left and dad molested her and everything. It doesn't matter what has happened. A lot of us have had things happen in our lives, but it didn't give us the right to abuse another person. So a narcissist is not like they don't know what they're doing. And it doesn't, the laws don't apply to them. They apply to them when they want them to apply, and the laws just don't apply to them. So it doesn't matter to them. They'll do something, and then they'll apologize because they got caught. Then they'll do something else, and they'll apologize because they got caught. But they're never sincere in their apology. And sometimes what happens is because parents are guilt parenting, or they feel guilty for not parenting the child right, or your adult children, and you're trying to save them from hurting themselves. Sometimes you have to let the process whether it's them being arrested, going to jail, whether it's them, the consequences of their behaviors, the consequences of their actions. When the parents keep on saving the child, jumping in and always interjecting, bailing them out, or constantly, protecting the child, you're making them worse. You're making them worse. And I have worked with people, and I've had soldiers who were married to narcissists. When they finally got out, they ended up killing someone. They ended up killing and murdering somebody. They ended up maiming someone. They ended up injuring someone. They ended up, person in a wheelchair, person has traumatic brain injury where they can't even think the same. The one lady on here said that hers, she's in a wheelchair from the time that she was a young woman. I think she said she was in her 60s, I believe in her 60s. But as a young woman, I think in her early 20s, I think it was her early 20s, where he maimed her to a point where she is in a wheelchair and cannot walk. And so for some of you who have narcissistic kids, you have to hold them accountable for their actions and behavior. I know you love them. I know you feel guilty. I know that you may not have done everything right. Some of you, and the narcissist child will hold that against you. You weren't there. You abandoned me. I grew up in a home where I was being abused by your boyfriend or your girlfriend. You didn't know how to have a relationship. You were on drugs. And they hold that against you. And so you operate out of emotions. You're right. And so you never discipline them, or you never hold them accountable, or you never say what you need to say to them because of the fact that they play with your emotions and then they hold you accountable for their behavior, or they make you feel guilty because if it wasn't for you and this and that and this, and I would have never done this, or I would have never ended up like this, or I would have never ended up in jail and you weren't there for me. Okay, well, how long are you going to let them hold you accountable for their behavior? Because they have to make choices for themselves. They make choices to do what they do. And majority of the people that they're with, they don't hold them accountable, because most of the time, what is it? We're with them and we are so in love. And so even the mate, whether it's a husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, you don't hold them accountable and you make all these excuses for them. And a lot of you have been in these relationships where you make excuses where, he's just tired, or where, she's having a bad day, or, she's been through a lot. And so, I try to be sensitive to her. Okay, but when is it that we wake up and hold them accountable? Meaning that if there needs to be a police report, if you need to put them out of your house, some of you need to go no contact. How long will you allow them to abuse you? And some of you say, I don't understand why I can't let go. You're addicted. You are addicted. The same chemicals, hormones, chemicals that operate the dopamine, the serotonin, the oxytocin, all those chemicals in your brain that causes you to be addicted to drugs or food, or causes connection with a loved one, is the same chemicals that are being affected when you are dealing with a narcissist that is trauma bonded to, or you are trauma bonded to. But think about it. Why would you try to make something work with someone that has no respect for you, you don't even know what it's like to be loved? You don't even know what it's like to be in a good relationship or a real relationship. We don't know what normal is, because what your normal is may not be my normal. What your standard in a relationship is may not be someone else's standard. So what your normal is, what is your normal? Some people are attracted to certain types of people. Why? The question is why do I keep magnetizing the same type of people? You have to demagnetize yourself. Sometimes you have grown up in a household that was abusive, that was neglectful, that was, you were rejected, you were abandoned. And so you crave attention, you crave affirmation, you crave love, you crave someone being with you regardless of how they're going to be with you. And so you are a target and you are a magnet for toxic relationships. You are a magnet for bad relationships. Some of you are attracted to certain kind of people. Some of you guys are attracted to the wealthy. Some of you are attracted to thugs. Some of you guys are attracted to whatever you're attracted to. And so because you are attracted to this type of particular person is the type of person that you are, drawn to and magnetized to. But you have to demagnetize yourself, meaning that sometimes when you get out of a relationship, it's not time to jump back in a relationship. You should never jump into a relationship because of the fact that you're lonely. How did I get on this topic? But you should never jump into a relationship because of the fact that you are lonely. Loneliness does not dictate you being in a relationship. That's not the purpose of a relationship. I'm lonely. I don't want to die alone. I'm getting older. Okay. Some of you talk about, I don't know how I got onto this topic, but I must have to say this. But some of you are concerned about your looks. Okay, at one point in time, you weren't over concerned about your looks. You didn't have a low self-esteem. It was up until the time you were in the relationship with this narcissist, and all of a sudden you come out doubting yourself. You come out questioning yourself. Well, do you know that there's somebody out there for everybody that will love you, whether you're 500 pounds or you look like olive oil? There's some people that love short hair, and some people like long hair. Some people don't like makeup. Some people do like makeup. Some people like natural hair. Some people don't like natural hair. Some people like a whole bunch of jewelry. Some people don't like a whole bunch of jewelry. There's somebody out there for everyone, but you are so focused on one individual, or maybe individuals in your lifetime that were narcissists. You're so focused on these individuals that have something negative to say. Well, what about the positive about you? Let me get back to the parents. I don't know. I had to say that. I had to say that to somebody. Somebody need to hear that. But yes, but a lot of you have been in a relationship where you see their parents always rescuing them. They're never held accountable. They don't hold on to jobs. They don't try to make a relationship work. The parent is always paying the bill, always bailing them out of jail, always making excuses for them. So they feel entitled. And so they live entitled. And if you don't give me the same things that my parents do, then you are my enemy as well. And you can hear them talking to their parents. They talk to their parents as if you owe me. So whatever has happened in their life, the parent is always, I'm sorry, you guys, I'm trying to adjust my wardrobe here. But the parent, they hold the parent accountable for everything. Anything negative that they do, they say, the way that they are, it's never their fault. They never hold themselves accountable for anything. And so parents, you got to be careful with your kids. You got to show them there are consequences to your action. There are positive and negative consequences. When you do, that's positive and negative reinforcement. Remember, when you do something positive, you're rewarded. Not all the time are you rewarded either. If you work, you get paid. Some of you guys need to make sure that your kids got chores. Oh, well, little Johnny don't know how to do that. It's just, just a cute little old bitty thing. He can't think. You better put your toys in that toy box before I take away that TV. Some of you guys got them kids iPads and big solar panels, and y'all got their own satellite dish out there, and they're like 2. You guys know better. But that's too much. You guys are giving them so much, and they're not earning anything. So when they get older, they feel entitled to having this. But you won't work. So they look for people that will do it for them. You don't even make them responsible. You don't make them clean up behind themselves. You don't make them, do a chore to get paid for something. Now is that age of computer. They're sitting on the computer and the iPads. They don't even socialize with people anymore. You take the laptop or the computer away from them. Go outside and look at a tree. Sit and look at a tree. Look at a leaf. Do you know what a leaf looks like? Go outside and wash the car. Go out there and cut the grass. Take the trash outside. Clean. Why are you guys cleaning your kids' room? But do you see how we're cultivating narcissism in children? You love your kids so much and you want the best. And some of you guys have been through so much in the relationships you guys have been with the parents that raised you, or the caretakers, that have abused you. And so you try to give your child something better, and what ends up happening is you recultivate it. It's in their DNA. If their parent has narcissism, or if your parents have narcissism, it's in their DNA. Do they always turn out to be a narcissist? No. Some of them end up being empaths, and that's just as bad, And when I say that's just as bad, don't get me wrong, empaths, that's a gift. That is a gift. Mother Teresa was a super empath. And so that is a gift, to feel for people. You guys are the ones, the empaths are the one you find in hospitals, a lot of them in mental health facilities, in helping field. These are the ones that just have a compassion for humanity and people. They feel their pain, and so they do, but a lot of times an empath doesn't have balance, so they go overboard and they get depleted. These are the ones that the narcissist looks for, so they can deplete, because you're always trying to connect with the narcissist. And I feel so sorry. See, you guys are the ones that sometimes enable the narcissist, because you haven't learned boundaries yet. And so you will give all of yourself and let yourself be depleted over a person that cares less about you. And so it's very imperative that a empath has to learn boundaries. You know how far to go, and that the boundaries hurt you. Boundaries make you feel bad, like you're not doing something right. But you have to be very careful, because every toxic relationship, or families that were raised by or you guys who have been raised by narcissistic parents, not all of them breed another narcissist. A lot of times they do. Somebody in the family becomes a narcissist, and a lot of times you also develop you also give birth to a empath. And it's very important that you teach, you notice that your children are very sensitive or oversensitive and very empathetic and put their feet in people's shoes and are willing. So you have to teach them from when you notice that they some of them are very much like you. When you notice that, you have to begin teaching them at a young age, balance, and don't let people run over you, and that's how those narcissists get you, because they know that I feel. So you have to be very, even with you guys raising empaths, raising children, sometimes you don't mean to do it and you end up raising a narcissist. So all narcissists are not traumatized, meaning traumatized in a sexual or physical way. Sometimes they're developed by the parenting, the environment, what they're exposed to, how they're being parented. They're parented as the beautiful golden child, the entitled child. And it may not be, you may be the empath raising a kid. So you have to be very careful. You make sure that you have proper boundaries in place. They have chores, they have responsibilities, because you are raising somebody's wife. You are raising somebody's husband, and a lot of you have come out of relationship with narcissists. And so you're looking at the parent like you raised them, or you're looking at the parent like you're the narcissist, or you're looking at the parent now like you are still enabling them, and you still allow your child to abuse you and to miss you. Some of you even talked about how abusive the narcissist was to the parents, and how they feel they're so entitled that they make the parent, their parents. You're in a relationship with this grown person, and this person is making the parent feel guilty over everything that happens. Well, if you hadn't done this or didn't, if you wouldn't have, and you and mom and you and it wouldn't have turned out like this in my relationship. And the reason why he left, or the reason why she left, is because you didn't teach me the skills. I know there comes a certain time that they have to be responsible and accountable, and narcissists don't like to be accountable. They don't like to be responsible, and they're going to blame anybody around them. So parents, be careful. Be careful and pay attention. Some of you are going to feel bad having to say no. Empaths, you're going to feel bad saying no. You're going to want to cry. And then your baby cute, but they don't stay cute like that. They get older and they become real cute, and they become very rebellious at a certain point. And then, if you have a narcissist, then you got a cute narcissist that is abusing you, and they're adults, and you're an older person, and then for some people that are older parents, a narcissist is draining the money dry. They're abusing the parents. Some of these elders are being abused, like physically abused by the narcissistic kids, and being killed, have been murdered by the narcissistic child. You read about it in the news all the time. So you guys, I just wanted to put that out there. I want you guys to think about that for a minute, because a lot of you now can go look back, and a lot of you already know, and you're looking at the parents like, yep, I can see it. They never held them accountable, and some of you need to hold your kids accountable. If they're doing something, you're going to have to let them be accountable. Stop trying to save them all the time. The more you catch some fool, when I say some fool, when you catch a fool, they're going to keep on doing foolish things. And then when you don't catch the fool, they're going to look at you in a foolish way and make you feel like the fool. Like it was your fault that I fell and smacked my face. Well, stop jumping off the building. I'm not going to keep catching you, but you keep saying that I'm not going to keep catching you, and you keep catching them. So they never feel responsible, or they're never held accountable, and they never know that when you hit the ground, it's going to hurt. So maybe you don't need to do that again. So hopefully this has helped you. Hopefully he's given some information. I was reading some of the comments, and I was having a discussion with someone. I felt that it was imperative to say something, but I want you guys to be encouraged. Just because you've had a bad life and you have bad experiences and things have happened, and most of us parented wrong. The first one is always the guinea pig. A lot of us did not do it right. And a lot of us didn't do it right the first time, and we're looking back now, but they're at an age of accountability. They're adults. There's nothing you can do but be a parent, but you be a parent with boundaries. You be a parent. Sometimes you have to cut off toxic family members. That includes your own kids. Unfortunately, that includes your own kids. You don't deserve to be abused, and no one has the right to abuse you, to include your kids and your family. So you have to make choices. And for some of you empaths, it's going to be a hard choice where you just, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. No, you're not. You're not going to die. You have boundaries in place. Okay. So it's offensive for the narcissist. Your boundaries is offensive to the narcissist. And it's also heartbreaking for you. But you got to do what you got to do and hold your kids accountable, because a lot of those narcissists, they still abuse their parents. hopefully this has helped, and those are the enablers. But though, hopefully this has helped you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to my channel. It's Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Hit the bell so you know whenever I upload. I usually try to come Tuesday through Friday, and because of the fact that I've had a high caseload and I've had to do a lot of paperwork, been doing a lot of paperwork, I kind of had to curtail my time to get the paperwork done, because of course, as you know, people need Social Security paperwork, people need, write-ups, they need assessments and stuff like that, and so I had to catch up on me. When you are independent and a private practitioner, you are HR, you are billing, you do everything. You do everything. You're everything. You're administration. You're everything. And so thank you guys for being so patient with me. Go to my Facebook page. I have one as my professional Facebook page, which is Psychological Health Consultants and Services. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like, and go to my book. I have a book Facebook page, which is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, and hit the thumbs up. I post on both of those, but sometimes I post other speaking engagements on Overcoming Narcissist Abuse that I don't post on my professional Facebook page. Because sometimes I'm out and about, and it's not like the clinical aspect of it. So I'm out and about, and I have certain speaking engagements within the church or something like that sometimes I'll post on Overcoming Narcissist Abuse Facebook page. Those of you that have not, please take the time to order my book. Let me grab it. You guys can tell I was drinking this morning, spilled stuff all over my shirt. But those of you that have not already, go to Barnes & Noble, or you can go to Westbow Press. For those that are overseas, they will send the book overseas, Westbow Press, or Barnes & Nobles or Amazon. You can get an ebook. You can get the Kindle version. Is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I mean, not Overcoming. I'm thinking of the channel. Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. You guys order the book. These are true stories, real people. They give you the perspective. This is a Christian book because it gives you Christian encouragement, but it is the what is the word I'm looking for? Take out the principles, because you will find yourself in this book. How people thought, how they were raised, how they were abused, what they were thinking when they were in the relationship, how their children was abused, how they escaped, what they were thinking when they escaped, and some of the things that they went through in the relationship with the narcissist. We can talk about it all the time, but what does it look played out? How is it that it's so easy to be able to fade into society without people knowing, or how they smear campaign you where people think that you're the crazy one and the stuff that happened to you really didn't happen. And so this book, is an easy read. Some of you guys said it was an easy read and you read it once or twice. You read it a couple of times. And so I really appreciate your support. Thank you so, so much. Even if you're not a believer, take the principles out of the book. And a lot of you who are not believers said that I'm not even a Christian, but I found myself in this book. So thank you guys for supporting me. Also, for those of you that are looking for counseling, I do not do counseling across state lines because I'm a Washington State licensed counselor. I am working toward getting a license in California. However, I am currently only licensed in the state of Washington. So in order to seek counseling services with me, you have to come to my office. I do provide coaching services, and I do, if you go to Dr. Carmen Bryant, DrCarmenBryant @ I will send you package information for those of you that have inquired. Also, let me think for a minute. Those of you that are seeking counseling and just really cannot afford coaching at this particular time. Some of you need counseling, not coaching. Some of you guys are dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. You're dealing with mental health issues. You're dealing with trauma, but you can find counselors on www.betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen. And it is in the link below on my YouTube channel. Some of you have actually went and registered. It's a very nominal fee. You let them know if you're having financial difficulty. They'll work with you to give you a discounted price. I think the first week is free. You can vet the counselor, so you can search for a particular counselor. Some of you guys, I can't find one that specializes in narcissist abuse. Look for a trauma professional. Look for one that understands domestic violence and psychological abuse. So you can look that up, and you can ask them, do you understand narcissist abuse? Do you understand this type of trauma? And some of you, you can't find it in your local city. You're kind of limited as to your travel, but you can do it online. You can do it telephone, Skype. I think they do FaceTime. And a very nominal fee. And a lot of you have actually signed up, and you guys are doing very well. And I'm so appreciative that you guys will actually share that with me. A lot of you said you have an excellent counselor, and I'm so happy for you guys. Thank you so much for trusting me with the information. Also, make sure you go to my mentor's YouTube channel, which is Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. As you guys know, she is traveling. She's out of country, and so you don't see any videos right now with her because she is traveling and out of country. And so you guys are always welcome to go to her Facebook page, which is either Apostle Helen Sadler or Apostle Helen, or it's under Helen Sadler. And she posts videos. It's also Into His Chambers Global Ministries. So one of those three, you're going to find the videos on there. A lot of times I do post her videos on my Facebook page as well. And so thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for supporting me. You guys know I love you guys, and go be great.